Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Stranger Things, Season 2, Episode 3, The Pollywog. And so we're going to focus on Dustin Henderson, and Dustin has taken in D'Artagnan. Um, and D'Artagnan is starting to grow, and Dustin is looking at this thing and he's like, whoa, what is this? Is this a reptile? Is this... He doesn't know what it is, right? And this is so fascinating because his actions tell us who he is, right? So Dustin goes to work and he actually, uses everything he's been taught in school and eliminates, it's not a reptile, it's not a mammal, and then he goes to the library, and this is my favorite scene in all of Stranger Things. And Dustin Henderson gets all these books out, and he's getting these books out to, and I'm sorry, I skipped a part there. He's getting these books to take a look at all the known reptiles, the different types, and the mammals, and like a lot of these animal anatomy and physiology books, and he gets into position, and it's so fascinating because and the librarian's like, hey Dustin, chill, man. You got a big pile of books here. You got 3 or 4 books, but you already have 8 books out, and you're done. I'm cutting you off. You got to bring back what you have before you can get out anymore, because we have rules here at the library, right? And Dustin's like, hey, important adult lady, I'm on a learning journey. I'm on a learning journey, and I'm paddling down the river of knowledge. And these books are my paddles. You wouldn't deny me my paddles, right? And so he tries to charm her. But she's like, I don't need your BS, man. Like, you can't have any more books. You're already, you're at your maximum. And the whole scene is so delightful, right? Because I love books, and I get in trouble too. People who love me are like, you got too many books, man. You bring in 10 more books in the house, but we have probably 50 too many in here already. And I just love this scene so much. And then Dustin grabs the books, right? And runs out of the library screaming, I need my paddles, right? And and that is the moment I fell in love with Stranger Things. I was just like, this is the best show ever. And it was just like they say, show don't tell. And the fact that Dustin is committing a library crime, you're just like, this is, it just tells you so much about him, and how, scholarly achievement is a big deal. And this kid knows how to read. He knows how to think. He respects knowledge. He gathers knowledge. He observes. He interprets. He applies. And it's just so powerful. And you're like, this kid's gonna be a banger. Like when he grows up, he's gonna do stuff. Like, the world is gonna change because of him, right? And you could see his future, and you could see his present, and you could see his past all at once. And it's an amazing depiction, just an absolutely amazing depiction of a character, right? Shown through action rather than words. And also, you also feel bad for the librarian, because she ain't trying to give him a hard time. She's trying to keep a structure where everybody can get books, and so she's just put in this position where she has to be the bad guy. And sometimes we're that way. Like, we don't want to be the bad guy, but we end up being the bad guy because of the shape of life, because of proximity and temporal flow, right? It's so fascinating. Absolutely. I was so blown away by this. And it just, like, it's a scene. It's literally one of the best scenes I've ever seen on the big screen or the small screen. And it's just so good. It's perfectly written, and it's why the Duffer Brothers are titans in the entertainment industry at this point. And why Netflix, and I'm telling you, this scene is one of the reasons why Dungeons & Dragons is powerful and productive, and it's one of the reasons why Netflix, it has millions of subscribers, because and all of their work came to this moment, and it's important. It's important. Last thing on episode 3. Where is 11? Where the heck is 11? So she finally gets frustrated. Hopper's let her down. Hopper is investigating these pumpkin rotting incidents, and finding out, oh my gosh, like, this is real. The upside down is actually physically impacting Hawkins, right? But while he's doing this, he doesn't have time to really raise 11 correctly. So 11 sneaks out of the cabin and goes to see Mike Wheeler at the high school, and she comes across Mike Wheeler talking to Max, right? And this new girl who's come into town, Mad Max, right? And she sees a scene where they're really becoming friends, but she misreads it and thinks that he's flirting with her. And so she actually uses her power to throw her off her skateboard. And this was a really interesting scene. And all of this is coming together. And at the same time, Will Byers is really being reattached to the Upside Down, and the forces of evil are coming back for him to reattach themselves to him. And I think it is at the end of this episode where the shadow monster literally goes back into Will Byers. And so we'll cut it off there, and that's the end of episode 3. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you. I love this show, and I'm doing these recaps to share my thoughts on the show with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.